Major Mohammad Ali Shah, defense expert, is also joining us on the program to talk more about this. Ali, if you can hear me.
Yes, Vineet, I can hear you now.
All right. Well, India and Japan, friends for a long time, but now this association has been taken to the next level. And, you know, amidst the rising global problems and uncertainty, how do you view this association, Ali?
Vineet, Japan has always been a friend of India's, and in fact, Japan started its beginning from ground zero, from scratch, when the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki took place. And you can see they rose from the ashes and they have become what they are today. So when we make friends with somebody and when we go on furthering our ties, our diplomatic, our political, our trade ties, it certainly is a long way for India as well. And when the Prime Minister discussed with his counterpart in Japan about the Ukraine-Russia war as well, what can they do with Fumio Kishida, what they can do with regards to bringing the two countries at peace. I mean, it speaks a large volume, in fact. And when they talk about roughly 2 lakh crore deal, that's 5 trillion yen. I mean, you can imagine how big the deal would be in the next 5 years, of course, which is a target which is not impossible to achieve, but it's slightly ambitious. And yeah, and I'm very happy about the fact that they are strengthening the deals, as you rightly mentioned, Vineet, that they already are part of the Quad: Australia, Japan, America, and India. And this further goes on to strengthen our diplomatic ties with Japan.
Ali, you know, amidst the ongoing Ukraine crisis, do you think it's important for India and Japan, you know, to also consider this partnership going to the next level, considering the fact that Japan too finds itself on, you know, the shorter end of the stick when it comes to dealing with China?
Most certainly, Vineet, because China's aggressive actions, their misbehavior, not only with India, but with Vietnam, with Malaysia, with Philippines, with all their neighbors, in fact, Taiwan for that matter of fact. And in fact, they have constantly named and renamed Japanese islands on their own will. China has been doing that. So most certainly, it also helps to send a loud and clear message and to curb Chinese actions in whatever little way they can.
All right. Well, Ali, stay on with us. We'll continue coming back to you for further analysis. Let's listen in to Mr. Hakariko now.
Actually, this visit marks the resumption of Prime Minister's annual mutual visits and promotes a multi-layered Japan-India cooperation. Prime Minister Kishida and Prime Minister Modi held their first in-person summit meeting and ahead of the Japan, Australia, India, US summit meeting, and affirmed their determination for further cooperation on various fronts. And that's about the significance of today's visit, the Prime Minister's visit to India. Let me now move on to the outline of Prime Minister Kishida's visit. Well, actually, Prime Minister Kishida had a summit meeting with Prime Minister Modi this afternoon. And then two leaders attended the Japan-India Economic Forum. And then they attended the ceremony of exchange of documents. Actually, 6 documents were agreed and sort of exchanged today.
All right, some breaking news coming in now. Well, Kyiv says that 228 people have been killed in the capital since the start of the war, including 4 children. Major Mohammad Ali Shah, defense expert, is with us on the broadcast as well. Ali, if you can hear me.
Yes, it's very loud and clear.
Well, Ali, the Russians are inching towards Kyiv, and they haven't even captured the entire city from what we know through our sources, but the civilian toll is rising, Ali.
Absolutely, Rita. It's very sad to see that, you know, the UN also has said that at least 847 civilians, including 64 children, were killed in Ukraine since Russia's all-out war began. I mean, that was on 24th February since then. I mean, it's a large number and very, very alarming. And Russia is using vacuum bombs. They are, in fact, both the countries for that matter. No one is less than the other. No one is holier than the Pope, in fact, for that matter. So they both are at fault. But let me tell you, ultimately, the Ukrainians are, I feel my heart goes, everyone's heart goes out to Ukraine because we see images of their women, children suffering, they're becoming homeless. And ultimately, yes, Russia was provoked, no doubt about that fact, but that does not give the right for them to go ahead and attack them. It's like you and me having an argument. I'm armed with a pistol, you're not armed. I go and shoot you. You do not listen to me. So that gives no reason to go and attack somebody on that account. So it is devastation, pure devastation, and both the presidents are not willing to listen or to. There has to be a way. I believe there is no solution word which cannot be solved. Now, this problem, UN has proved themselves to be toothless tigers, where they cannot really do much in this. And very smartly, again, President Putin has reduced the Article 7 of the UN Act. So that further adds on to the fact that UN cannot really interfere in this. And there have been at least 2,246 civil casualties, of which 847 have been killed and 1,399 injured. Now that is like a huge number, and so I mean, only way possible is the way Turkey came in, Israel came in, France came in, India came in. Peace brokers, we need peace brokers at this point of time, please.
All right, some more breaking news coming in. Well, the head of Donetsk military civil administration says that Russian forces refuse to provide food, water and safe passage to thousands of Mariupol residents who managed to escape from Russian bombs in occupied Manhushi and Melikin. 71 children have been evacuated from an orphanage in Sumy also, we are learning. And the Sumy governor has written on Facebook that the infants had been sheltered in basements for 2 weeks before they could be evacuated abroad to a safe location. Many of the infants also have health problems. Major Muhammad Ali Shah still with us on the broadcast. Ali, there was a talk about a humanitarian corridor. There were talks about peace being struck between Russia and Ukraine. Whatever happened to that?
Well, they were only talks, Vineet, and we saw the first day, within the 2 hours of the ceasefire being announced, we saw there was application of the ceasefire, and we saw there were only people who were saying we'll come and we'll try to talk it out with them, but nothing. The humanitarian corridor, they were with people getting evacuated from Ukraine, so they are really having a tough time, and my heart goes out to them. But frankly speaking, it is 3 million people have left the country. Slowly and steadily, some of them are drinking back is a different thing. But people leaving a country in like 3 weeks, it's a big figure. So now when they talk of humanitarian corridor, I don't see it happening much on ground. And saying that even if it does happen, as you had said earlier, that bomb will not ask whether it is an embassy or it will just drop. So no place over there is safe. You can see videos of people running away from an explosion. But where's the guarantee from point A to point B when they run, there will not be an explosion over there. So this kind of humanitarian corridor, one cannot really rely on it. It's most welcome. This talk should go on and one should pursue it, but cannot rely on it 100%.
Ali, stay with us. According to the UN, at least 847 civilians, including 64 children, have been killed in Ukraine since Russia's all-out war began on the 24th of February. And according to the United Nations Office on Human Rights, there have been 2,246 civilian casualties, of which 847 have been killed and 1,399 have been injured since the 24th of February. Major Muhammad Ali Shah, is it possible for you to comprehend that the war is going to stop in the next 4 to 5 weeks, or do you think that the spiraling that has been happening, Ali, is going to continue? We haven't heard anything specific from Vladimir Putin. We haven't heard anything specific from Zelensky also. Do you think it's a lost cause as of this moment, as of today?
If I have to hope against all hopes and if I have to be an optimist, I would say the war should end now and should end soon. But if I be realistic, And if I look at it, if I analyze the situation correctly, it's going to be a very long drawn affair. And even if, as people are speculating whether what was Russia's objective, to take over Kyiv or not to take over Kyiv or what, even if they do, let's give a situation, even if they do, whenever they do, will it stop them? The golden question, no, it will not stop. The insurgency in those areas would continue, and it's going to be worse than what happened in Afghanistan with Taliban, because now the civilians have weapons. So even if there's a dummy government which comes into play, there would be a peacekeeping force over there, there would be a peacekeeping army, and then the civilians, those would be the term as so-called insurgents, the rebels. Now, the situation over there is going to be like Syria. And it is going to be like great devastation, Vineet. And this is going to be a long drawn affair to give you answer in brief.
All right. So